So the iPad is still the best-selling tablet on the market today, but after 8 years of new updates, it's always kind of looked roughly the same. Yes, we've had Touch ID and a few other updates, but finally it's got a whole new design. Could this finally be the iPad to replace your laptop? Now, I don't care what camp you come from, Windows, Mac or Android, I don't think anyone can argue that this is one beautiful tablet. The new design sees more screen and, well, less of everything else. There's now an almost edge-to-edge screen with curved corners, which Apple is calling Liquid Retina LCD. The home button has completely gone and is now replaced with Face ID. And Apple has also ditched the Lightning connector in favour of USB-C. It's gone much more squared looking than the previous iPads, and at this stage I'm not sure what I prefer. There is something nice about the previous generation's rounded back edges for holding in your hand, but at the same time it gives the device a more pro look and it fits much closer to the look of the new MacBook Pros. I guess it's down to personal preference, but write a comment below and let me know what you prefer. The device now features a larger 11-inch screen in the same size device as last year's model, and the thickness, or should I say thinness, of the device is now just 5.9mm. The sides are quite minimal, with just the power and volume buttons, plus the all-new USB-C port. Apple is clearly trying to get this into as many pro hands as they can, and they're hoping USB-C will do that. On the back, we now have a camera bump for the 12-megapixel camera. I've always thought a camera on a tablet was a little pointless, but with AR growing in popularity, the better back camera you have, the more lifelike experience you're going to get. Now, the screen is absolutely gorgeous, and I think the rounded corners of the display really help to modernize its look. It comes with the same ProMotion 120Hz screens of the iPad Pros from last year, which still look great. Any content you have on the screen really pops. Transitions and animations are all super fast. Even though this may not be the highest resolution screen on the market, I still do believe it's by far one of the best. I've never had any complaints about the iPad screens, and it's only got better this time round. Gone is the home button, and it's been replaced with Face ID, which I think is a great addition. I've had an iPhone X since launch day, and I can honestly say it's great to have it on the iPad. You can use it for Apple Pay, for securing apps and opening folders, and I can tell you it's much more convenient than Touch ID, as it just blends into the background. So the device we've got here is the 11-inch iPad, and I upgraded the storage to 256 gigabytes. I always go for the smaller device because I travel a lot for work, and I like a nice light device to take with me on the go. I've also gone for the upgraded type cover and the new Apple Pencil 2. Now, this whole setup came in at £1,217, which I think is a lot for an iPad, but more on that later. Now, iPad Pros have never been slow, but this one is super fast thanks to the new A12X Bionic chip. And the graphics have also seen a major improvement. Apple claim that this iPad has as much power as the Xbox One S, which I think is pretty incredible. I can tell you, everything on here runs absolutely super smooth. Every game, every app we've tested has no lag at all. The USB-C port helps you connect cameras like our Sony a7 III or our Studio Series SL600 microphone for podcasting or voiceover. That said, you do have some roadblocks to get over. You still need to import your photos to your camera roll first before you can import them into Lightroom. Also, a huge disappointment with the USB-C is that you cannot attach an external hard drive for storage or video editing. We film a lot of 4K footage on the go, including this review, so it would be great to use the iPad Pro as a mobile video editor, but not having the option of external footage makes that task a little bit more difficult, and again destroys your camera roll and the internal storage. Another small annoyance is that Apple have removed the headphone socket. Yeah, I know they're trying to get to a wireless future, but I think if they're going to try and appeal to pro DJs, video creators or podcasters, they really should have left one on. We've purchased the iPad Pro Smart Keyboard, and it's a big improvement over last year's model. It now protects the device all the way around, and they've gotten rid of that horrible origami style setup of the previous generation. Plus, there are now 2 angles to choose from. If we're comparing tablets, I do think the Microsoft Surface type cover is a much better tablet keyboard than this due to the touchpad and F-row keys which are there. However, this smart keyboard is much improved over the first generation, and the second typing angle is welcome. The new Apple Pencil has the same specs as before, but they've changed how it works. Instead of charging it by plugging it into the bottom of the iPad, which I think was a bit stupid, you now lay the pen on the side and it magnetically attaches to the iPad and charges it directly. So one thing which still nags me a little bit about the iPad Pro is that it still doesn't have any pointer support. It doesn't have support for a mouse or a trackpad, and I would have really loved to see Apple do that, because I just think if you're doing a huge accounting session in Excel, or you're video editing, or you're doing any kind of other productivity work, a pointing device is always better. It always just makes things a little bit faster. Having to hold a pencil in one hand and sort of tap the screen as you type, or use your finger to sort of copy and paste big lines of text, slows things down a bit. So I hope in the next iteration or in a software update they support maybe the Apple Magic Mouse. That would be great to see. So what do I think of the new iPad Pro 2018? Well, I love the design, I love the screen, I love the speakers, and I love the power and the speed behind it. So on paper it's all pretty good, but at the moment for me there's just too many roadblocks which prevent me from using this as a kind of a main device or even a travel device. I think if you're a digital artist and you can stick within the limitations of iOS, you're going to absolutely love it. I think it does many things better than a Mac or PC can, and it's much more fun to use. But I hear some people saying, well, you know, it's pretty good for email, it's pretty good for web browsing and all that kind of stuff, which is true. But this is £1,217. You could buy the £319 iPad that has pen support and it has a keyboard support, sorry. So you could get 99% of the same things done on the smaller, cheaper iPad as you could on this very expensive iPad Pro. And it's that price difference which just takes it into a different value proposition for me that I'm just not sure if I could recommend it to everyone. It doesn't have Photoshop support yet. I know it will do because Photoshop is coming out in early 2019, but at the moment I still can't really edit Photoshop files properly or Illustrator files, which we use here in the office. And the other big thing is Chrome extensions. I can't use Chrome extensions that we use a lot for our business. We can't use Safari extensions either because it doesn't have the proper, proper desktop browser, which is a bit frustrating. So it's almost there, but it's just these minute little things which still annoy me. And I think with this close, if Apple could push it a little bit further, this could be the best device for most people. At the moment, I think it's the best device for just a small few people. But for those few, you're going to absolutely love it. But what do you think? Leave a comment in the section below. Are you going to get this iPad? Do you agree with me or disagree with me? Please let me know, as I'd love to hear from you, and I promise we'll get back to every single comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.